Records Kubota Limited, and I have prepared the PPT on the topic of postal ballot, and such an interesting topic. So let's start it to know about the what is a postal ballot and what is their provision and the procedure is required. So here are the applicable provisions which talks about the postal ballot as per the Companies Act, as per the Companies Management and Administration Rules, as per the Secretarial Standard and the SEBI LODR. So here are the some applicable provisions which talk about the postal ballot. So as you can see on the screen. So firstly, let's understand the meaning of the postal ballot. Section 2 subsection 65 talks about the postal ballot means voting by post or through any electronic mode. So let's understand the meaning of the voting by post and through any electronic mode. Voting by post, in this scenario, a company send the ballot papers to all the shareholders at their registered address, and such shareholders give their assent and dissent and return back to the company through the registered post. So this is all about the voting by post. And through an electronic mode, the company provide the e-voting facility on such resolution which is provided to be passed by the postal ballot. So there is the simple meaning of the postal ballot as per the section 2 subsection 65. Here are the section 1110 which talks about that central government may specify the such business items which only and only be passed by the postal ballot, and central government already specified the 10 business item which is mandatory to be done by the postal ballot. Such business items, that is, if any company alter its object clause of the memorandum, then postal ballot is required to be done mandatory. If any insertion or removal of provision in the articles of association, change in the place of registered office outside the local limit, if a company raised money from the public through any prospectus for a particular object, and still there are some unutilized amount and company wants to change their object, then required to take a approval from the shareholders, then postal ballot is required. The fifth one is issue of shares with differential right as to vote or dividend. As we know that there are many shares which is issued as a differential right as with respect to voting or dividend. Next, sixth one is variation in the right attached to the class and class of shares. And the seventh is buyback. If companies done buyback as per the section 68 of the Companies Act, then postal ballot is required to be done. Appointment of director elected by the small shareholder. If company sale whole undertaking or the substantial whole of undertaking, or a company owns more than one undertaking, or where the company owns more than one undertaking of whole or substantial whole of such undertaking, then company required to take a shareholder consent by way of the postal ballot. And the last one is if company giving loan, guarantee and provide security in excess of the limit specified under section 186, and the limit is 60% and 100% of the 60% of paid up share capital, security premium and the free reserve, and 100% of paid up capital and the security premium, and the any other resolution as the central government prescribe. So here are the 10 business item which is required to be mandatory done through the postal ballot. But there are the some exemptions to the companies, that OPC and a company not more than 200 members not required to done above businesses through the postal ballot. So here are the exemptions to the such company. Next, so in this we know about that certain business item mandatory to be done through the postal ballot, but there are the some business items which company can't do through the postal ballot, है ना, उसको मीटिंग कंडक्ट करनी ही पड़ेगी. Then such businesses ordinary business item and the business in which director or auditor have right to be heard at the meeting. So there are the two business items which company cannot do by means of the postal ballot. So next line is provided that business item uh, above 10 business item which is done through the postal ballot can also be transacted at the general meeting only by those companies which are required to provide the facility of e-voting as per the section 108. And the second point is, if resolution is assented by the requisite majority of shareholder by means of postal ballot, it is deemed to be passed at the general meeting convened in that behalf. So this is all about the section 1110. Next, section 108, which talks about the voting through electronic means. 108, we can link that section 108 talks about the central government may specify the class and class of company in which company required to give the right to vote by electronic means to their members. So central government specified under the rule 20 that listed company and every company having not less than 1000 member shall provide to its member facility to exercise the right to vote by electronic means. But here are the certain exemptions that Nidhi company and any enterprise institutional investor not required to provide the e-voting facility. Next, there are the certain procedure which are required to be done, that if any company is providing e-voting facility, then there are the certain procedure that notice of the meeting sent to all members, director, auditors of the company by registered post, speed post, and electronic means, and by courier services. The notice shall also be placed on the website of the company. Next, notice of meeting clearly state that facility of voting or any business item to be transacted, process and manner for voting, then time schedule, details about the login ID, process and manner for generating or receiving the password. Advertisement should be done within 21 days before the meeting on the one English and vernacular newspaper. Then notice, in this notice also specified the cutoff date, which is not earlier than the 7 days before the general meeting. Then in our case, Mr. Akira Kato is appointed as a whole-time director by means of the postal ballot. So we decided the cutoff date is 26th of September and the meeting is held on the 30th September. Then manner in which person who acquired the share and become the member after the dispatch of notice, then how they get the email ID and password, then date and time of commencement and end of the voting, and also state that beyond the specified date and time, then e-voting should not be allowed. And if the person name is recorded in the register of member or register of beneficial owner as on the cutoff date, that also entitled to avail the facility of e-voting. Then notice, in this notice, website address of the company is also displayed, and there are the real example of our company, Scott's Kubota Limited, the notice of postal ballot. So there are the certain points which I highlighted for more clarity, that commencement of time, e-voting also mentioned, cutoff date is also mentioned, then a person who resolve the grievances is also mentioned, and all such details which are provided under the provision are in this notice, then we can better understand. Okay. Next, there are more some points, that a person name, address, email ID, phone number who address the grievances related to e-voting facility. Then e-voting facility shall remain open not less than 3 days and shall close at open for not less than 30 days. Let me check. And shall close at 5 p.m. on the date preceding the date of general meeting. If a member holding share as on the cutoff date may also opt the remote voting and off voting, and board of director also appoint one or more scrutinizer who is not an employment and who is a CA, CMI and the advocate. And next, scrutinizer shall after the conclusion of the general meeting firstly count the vote and in the presence of the two witnesses not later than 3 days provide a scrutinizer report which countersigned by the chairman and a person authorized And the scrutinizer also maintain a register either manually or registry, safe custody of the all the related documents of the postal ballot under the safe custody of the scrutinizer after declaration of the results placed on the website of company, simultaneously stock exchange of the company, and the receipt of the requisite number of votes shall be deemed to be passed on the date of relevant journal meeting. Here are the scrutinizer report, and there is a stock exchange intimation. As we can see, stock exchange intimation given under the regulation 44 sub-regulation 3, which says that within 2 working days we have to intimate to the stock exchange about the results of the postal ballot. So apart from the other, there are secretarial standard which is issued by the ICSI and which talks about the postal ballot, that board approval. Firstly, board identify the business which is transacted through the postal ballot, notice approved in the board meeting, authorize a company secretary who uh, sign the documents related to the such procedure, appoint one scrutinizer, appoint an agency for e-voting facility, decide cutoff date, notice sent to all members, advertisement in newspaper, and there are the last but not the least, minutes of the meeting. A distinct minute book shall be maintained. A minute shall be entered within 30 days from the conclusion of meeting. Results and the summary of the scrutinizer report shall enter in the minute book. Each page shall be initialed and signed by the chairman. A minute book shall be permanently preserved, bound periodically at least once in every 3 years, and minutes should not be pasted and tampered. This is all about the postal ballot. Thank you. If you like the video, then please subscribe, comment, and please give some suggestions what I can add in this video. Thank you.